All right, what's up, NBA fans? The season has finally started, and your boy is excited, man. So once again, I've partnered up with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, to give all new customers a fantastic opportunity. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use my promo code DCTV. Bet only $5 or more and get $200 in bonus bets instantly on any NBA contest. So it don't matter, guys. Whether your team wins or they lose, you still get a dub at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey, guys, and with DraftKings parlays, you can string together multiple games for even bigger NBA payouts. So all you got to do, go to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use my promo code DCTV. Bet only $5 or more and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Again, that's DCTV at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Come on, guys, let's go. You know me, I got that. I like the hook shot. I'm like an old basketball player. I'm one of them old school cats with the short shorts. Use that promo code. Let's go.
Daniel Cormier!
All right, guys. UFC 295 has hit a snag. You know, anytime we get too excited for something, obviously it never happens. It's like Christmas when you want a Nintendo and then your mom decides to buy you the Sega or something else. Or if you wanted an Atari and they bought you like a different one, or like the GameCube, all those weird old video games that were like the off-brand of the Nintendo that your mom just didn't want to spend the extra $20 for, let you down, but still made you a little happy. UFC 295 in the box, in a nutshell. No one would ever sneeze at the new main event. But when you had what you were looking forward to, it kind of makes you go, I mean, it's good, but it ain't really this. Jon Jones is hurt. Last night, Dana White put out a video saying that Jones was training. He was wrestling, actually, and he hurt himself in the situation that he was in.
You know, Jon Jones was training last night, got injured. He was wrestling, and he tore the tendon that connects your pec to the bone, off the bone. 8 months, gonna need surgery. He's out.
Things like that happen. In training, it happens constantly. The only problem is that we were so looking forward to that fight between him and Stipe. You're still training at this point. You're actually still training at 110%. You don't slow down the training until about 7 to 8 days before you actually walk to the octagon. So it's not like the guy was doing anything wrong. It's just unfortunate that the body broke down. Here's where I wonder in regards to the injury, because I saw the video and that looks like a very common wrestling situation. I've been in that situation 1,000 times. I see my kids wrestling in that situation every single day. I have never seen someone almost like tear the pec. Looked like he might have tore the pec in a pretty base wrestling situation, right? Your arm gets extended and things can happen. Shoulders, sure. Pop a shoulder, other things like that. But I haven't really seen the pectoral muscle as many times as you know, you would see some of these other injuries. I think more than anything, this could be related to the different approach to this one. You can take time to do whatever it is you want to do. Jones said he was bulking. He was getting prepared to become a heavyweight. So he gained all this weight, and he trained and he fought Cyril Gane, and he fought him for about 2 minutes. Now, though, he recognizes the challenge ahead of him, so he figured, I've got to put in more work. I've got to take this new body, and I've got to teach this new body to train like the 205-pound body, because I know the challenge is so big. Well, your body's not prepared for that. Your body's not ready for that type of workload if you haven't been doing it. That's why the kids can do it every day. That's why when I watch the U.S. national team, I see them in this situation constantly, situations that are even worse, but their bodies are conditioned for those situations so they don't get under duress, like insane stress whenever they're put in them. Jones might have been wrestling before, but if you know Cyril Gane can't really defend takedowns as much, how much time are you spending in those situations, especially at a really high level, an intense level? Watching the video, it looked like he was wrestling. But I know that when Jones was preparing to fight me, he was wrestling even harder than that. But carrying an extra 25 pounds, setting your mind because you're a champion to get ready to beat another champion, pushing yourself can lead to injuries. So now Dana says 8 months, he'll be out. Guys, Stipe ain't got 8 months. I like Miocic. We have no issues. We fought 3 times. But if I'm being completely honest, he ain't got 8 months. Stipe Miocic doesn't have 8 months to wait to fight Jon Jones. And if he does, like, is he even going to get a title fight? Because you know what's crazy to me? And I guess I'll have to dig into this a little bit more today, make some calls and try to get some answers as to why Miocic isn't in the fight now. Generally, you would get that other half still in the fight. Case in point, when Jones went out, I stepped in, Rumble stayed. Right? So we've seen this time and time again. Last week, when Charles went out, Islam stayed. Why is Stipe not staying to fight in that interim championship? Did Stipe Miocic say, no, I don't want to fight Aspinall or Pavlovich? Potentially. But I do know this, though. If he did say, I don't want to fight those guys, he's screwed. He's screwed. Because when you get that opportunity to fight for an interim championship, even if you're the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, you got to take it because it's an opportunity to fight. Because they will move on. The UFC will move forward, as they did with Pavlovich and Aspinall. They will move forward. You just don't want to be the one that's stuck, just kind of holding. I don't want to make you guys all know the saying. If you get the chance, you got to take it, especially at 41. Hadn't fought in 2 years to get an opportunity to fight for a belt. Because these two young fighters are so explosive and so good that when they come back, or when Jones comes back, one of those guys will be standing there waiting with an interim championship. How in the world do you, as a fighting promotion, how do you as a fighting promotion and as a public fan base say this guy, based on what he did prior, at this point, over 3 years, deserves this more than these two guys who I promise you in this next 8 months will not only fight each other in New York, but defend again. They'll fight again. They'll fight again by the time Jon Jones is back. Maybe Stipe goes, not now. Not on short notice. I'll fight whoever wins this fight. That could be the case. Again, I'm guessing. I haven't had those conversations yet, but I will today. I have not had those conversations yet, but I will today. I'm going to start making some calls, and I'll have more answers. I'll do a YouTube short to give you answers. But right now, I'm posing the question. How do we get to Pavlovich versus Aspinall instead of Pavlovich versus Stipe, or Pavlovich or Aspinall versus Stipe? I will tell you this. If I'm Stipe Miocic, I would understand why you say no to Sergei and Tom. They're scary. Both of them are fucking scary. They're both unbelievably well-rounded, and Sergei hits as hard as any human being I've ever seen put on 4-ounce gloves. He's like Francis, but like not as wild. Takes his time, and then he showed he can defend takedowns. I mean, he's scary. Tom Aspinall also is a tremendously talented mixed martial artist, can do everything inside the octagon, and is big, is in shape, can wrestle, can grapple, can box. So there are a lot of problems, and there are a lot of technical things you would need to do to prepare for these two guys. And I don't know if you could do that in 3 weeks. But do you have 8 months, my friend? I don't think so. I think you needed to be in there as soon as possible. Christmas morning, bro. You got that Sega Entertainment Center instead of the Nintendo, which, by the way, turned out to be a very, very good gaming system. I was one of those kids that got the other gaming system. So if you think UFC 295 is not going to be a banger, you're out of your mind. I believe that these two young heavyweights are just as deserving, they're just as valid, and they're just as good. And I don't know if we see either of these guys in there with Stipe or Jones, if not for this injury. So it saves us another fight. Jones was talking about retiring. Now, when he's back, he will have to fight one of these two. Still sucks that the fight's not happening. But boy, am I jazzed about this new main event. Because these two dudes are heavy weights. Ain't no 205-pound dude that went up to heavyweight. Ain't no heavyweight that got down to 230. Tom Aspinall and Sergei Pavlovich are heavyweights. They're heavyweights. And that's the only weight class that they can fight. And because of that, it's going to be so much fun to watch two big heavyweights compete for the championship. Hope I gave you guys a little info into the preparation and why it could have happened to Jones, but I will have answers today. But do yourself a favor. Go watch Dana's video. We'll try to clip it in here and watch. Ask any wrestler you know if that was a very challenging situation. It really just looked like him shooting and his opponent just kind of sprawling. And it looked like they were drilling. I'm telling you, the workload for all that extra weight and with the intensity at which he was probably training, getting ready for such a great fighter in Miocic, I don't know that the body was conditioned for it. And ultimately, when it's not conditioned for it, you get hurt. That's why all those coaches get hurt. That's why when you watch guys try to race, dudes will be in the barbershop. I own the barbershops. And dudes will start to talk, so we'll take them outside to race. Every time they both fall when they start running. It is somebody always ends up hurt. They're not trained for that. And I think the intensity of Jones's mind, the championship mentality said, I got to be ready. And because of that, he pushed and he pushed and he pushed, but his body wasn't as ready for it as his mind. So guess we'll see what happens. Let me get on the phone, start making some calls, and I'll check back in with y'all later, guys. Until next time, peace.